Hello my friends and welcome. We have some of the breaking news coming from the Sea of Azov. Russia lost two of their very important surveillance airplanes. One is A-50 with this modification of the radar. It is the Russian AVAX. Originally it is Ilyushin-76 and Russia has just few of them. The price for a single unit is around $300 million, which makes it the most expensive modification of the Russian transport airplane. And also Ilyushin-22 was hit with something. According to the information from the Russian sources, this airplane finally made it to the Russian airfield of Anapa. You may see many of the antennas on top of that airplane as well as on the bottom, so it is also a surveillance modification of the airplane. Well, here we have Ilyushin-18. The Ilyushin-22 is a little bit different with more radars, but basically it's the same airplane type. In fact, Ilyushin-22 is this airplane. It has some of the extra antennas on the bottom and also on the front. Even my grandpa used to fly that airplane, then he served in the Soviet army. So according to our information, this airplane was totally kaputted by something, and Ilyushin-22 probably made it to the Russian airfield. As it has been reported, the airplanes were targeted over the Azov Sea, which is totally controlled by the Russian forces. You see that Ukraine has no any way outs to the shores of this sea. The Anapa airfield is located in this place, not far away from Crimea. It means that the airplanes were flying somewhere in this sector because if they were flying more to the north, the alternate airfield should be in Rostov-on-Don, somewhere nearby. In this case, Anapa is really far away, which makes me think that they were flying somewhere near to the Kerch. Again, if we check the range of the Patriot system and put it very close to the front lines, you may see that it barely covers 1/3 of the Azov Sea and really far away from Anapa. Even if we put it somewhere over here, it covers just a tiny little part of the Azov Sea. So I still wonder what tool Ukraine used to target the Russian airplanes. How do we know the information that the Russian airplanes were targeted? Well, several of the Ukrainian officials already reported it, including Yuri Misakin, who is the chief of the National Security Committee of the Ukrainian parliament. Plus, again, Russian sources reported that Ilyushin-22 and the A-50 airplanes were under attack by unknown force over the Azov Sea. Ilyushin-25 was able to reach the airfield and land. The evidence is based on the air traffic control communication between air traffic controller and the military crew of Ilyushin-22. Right before the landing, the crew of Ilyushin-22 requested fire brigade and medics to help them out, so definitely the airplane was targeted. But still, we do not have the final confirmation from the Russian officials or from the Ukrainian military command. The news is very fresh, so there's the chance that it's not real, but based on different sources information is coming from, I would say that it's more real than unreal. Anyways, we're gonna see the proofs very soon, probably tomorrow morning. The A-10 airplane was already attacked, I think, in 2022. Ukraine tried to use the drones to target it. You can see that the drone was flying in the close proximity of the airplane and even landed on top on this radar, and it was partially damaged as it was reported, and Russia moved this airplane away from its military base in Belarus because they thought that it is vulnerable. Indeed it is. So 99.9% that today's attack is real and Russia lost crucial airplane to identify Ukrainian aviation. Those airplanes also could spot the cruise missiles which Ukrainian Sukhoi-24 tactical bombers constantly launched to attack the Russian headquarters elsewhere. And as I told you, Russia is unable to build the new airplanes of that type. Well, they have lots of the Ilyushin-76, the airplanes themselves, but what is inside is irreplaceable. And obviously there are lots of the memes start to appear in internet. So about Ilyushin-22, I would consider it as the lost airplane for the Russian Federation because it sustained dramatic damages. Even in case it landed successfully in Anapa airfield, Russia will not be able to use it for extended period of time. And if critical equipment was damaged, I would say that Russia will not be able to restore this airplane. Those surveillance airplanes are the eyes of the Russian army. So today they lost a couple of them. According to the latest report, Russians say that this airplane is not responding to their transmissions and they lost it on their radar. The Russian fighter jet Sukhoi Su-30 that was flying nearby reported that it cannot find the airplane either. I guess that it's being converted to the very expensive submarine. So indeed, fantastic news. I hope we'll have the official confirmation about the Russian loss very soon. And now let's go to Avdiivka direction, where Russia tries to attack again and again. But you know what? Nothing works out for them. We have some of the fresh pictures taken by the drones showing the demolition of the Russian convoys all around Avdiivka. I can see some of the fresh armored vehicles and tanks that I haven't seen so far from the drone videos in Avdiivka direction. So for sure some of those are new infantry vehicles or tanks, which Russia used in their most recent attacks. Yes, we may see the results of the old Russian attacks there, but the new vehicles are presented too. Usually, if for example tanks go damaged and unable to move, if crew run away or stay there forever, Ukraine or Russian side use the drones to eliminate the vehicle, just to cancel the opportunity for the other side to take and trophy the enemy vehicle. That is why I think that we have a couple of the new tanks around. Russia continued to pack their infantry forces on top of their armored vehicles. I see it again and again. This picture, probably the final picture, was taken by the FPV drone, and honestly I'm sure that the vehicle wasn't really damaged because they have some of the armor on the top. Waiting for the full video, but probably I'll not be able to publish it over here. That is why, my friends, I have the alternate source. It is Telegram. There I continue to publish everything connected to Ukraine, including the battle videos. So if you want to have the full access, please join me on Telegram. The link is in the video description just below. A Russian gliding bomb FAB 250 fell down to the ground because it disconnected from its gliding wings and the tail control unit. You may just see the remains of the fitting which connects the bomb to its gliding unit. Probably it's separated right from the airplane. And one more gliding bomb was found in Volgograd Oblast, the Russian Federation. It was there for several days. You may see it by the evidence of these snow traces. It means that the quality of the Russian gliding bombs is not ideal. Okay, one more big Russian loss. Because of the Ukrainian cruise missiles attack on the Russian airfield of Novofedorivka in Saki, Russia lost many of the officers, including the deputy commander of the 43rd Separate Navy Aviation Regiment, the Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Chernobyrev. Russia already lost many of the officers because of that Ukrainian attack. Also, Gerasimov reported to have some of the injuries at least, but it seems like those are just the rumors. However, I haven't seen Gerasimov for a very long time. And you see how every day we have the confirmation about the Russian officer losses. Even though the attacks were performed long time ago, the same will happen with airplane A-50, which Russia lost today. A German-built source has some of the insights about the escalation between Russia and some of the NATO countries. They rely on some of the unnamed sources inside the German military, which say that this February there will be escalation between NATO and Russia. Hopefully not the military escalation, but who knows. There is this scenario in the NATO army of how to act and how Putin might act. Russia might mobilize around 200,000 new soldiers into its army this February. I think that Putin will not announce the new mobilization before the elections in Russia, which will happen during the March time. So I believe that after March, Putin might mobilize some of the soldiers to the army. They also say that this summer Russia might achieve some of the goals on the front lines because Ukraine is in lack of the resources and supplies from the Western allies. Again, they say that Putin might use the power transition period in the United States in case the new president would be elected, and start a new attack, probably even on the NATO countries like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. At the day of the Russian attack on NATO, NATO is ready to send 300,000 more soldiers, including 30,000 soldiers from Bundeswehr. Well, kind of strange article, you know. Putin is struggling to take Avdiivka. At the same time, Bild says that Putin wants to strike NATO. Well, everything might happen, but it could be a very crazy move for the Russian dictator. The more we support Ukraine, the less probability that Putin would dare to attack the NATO countries. At the same time, the ex-president of the United States, Trump, wants to look like a peace pigeon, if we may call him a pigeon, a little bit yellowish one. Well, anyways, he says that the world has never been so close to the Third World War as it is right now, and he will do everything to stop this war because he knows those people, maybe Putin, Kim Jong-un and others. Trump is just a dreamer. He thinks that he will negotiate with them. Well, good luck with that. It will bring the Third World War even closer, because dictators understand just power. The instability comes with this guy if he would be elected. According to the Institute for the Study of War, Russia is getting ready to perform the assault missions behind the front lines using helicopters and paratroop divisions. They say that it might look like the landing operation which Russia already conducted in Gostomel airfield right at the beginning of the war. At least they have the information that Russia conducts those types of the trainings for their paratroopers. Well, I guess that Ukraine will be ready for it too, and the result for the Russian army will be as same as in Gostomel. The general commander Zaluzhny visited the southern front lines in Kherson Oblast. A few days ago he was on the east and now moved to the south, probably checking out the actual information of what is happening on the front lines. And again, I don't think that Ukraine is planning the assault operation just right now, then we are in lack of the resources. Sweden will increase the production of 155mm artillery shells. Those will be sent to Ukraine. The exact number of the shells is unknown. In general, the European Union countries are looking to expand the production of the artillery shells to deliver 1 million shells to Ukraine as they promised during the springtime. The Speaker of the House of the Representatives, Mike Johnson, says that there will be a delegation from the United States congressmen who will go to Taiwan in May for a visit. Remember a voyage of Nancy Pelosi back in 2022 when she visited many of the countries in Asia and actually went to Taiwan. China was angry about it but wasn't able to do anything. So here it could be a part 2 of the story. One more sign that the Russian special military operation goes according to plan. Special shelters were installed in Belgorod, Russian Federation. Well, I would say that the walls are quite thin of this construction. Even shrapnel might penetrate it, but nevertheless, good sign for the Russian Federation that war touches them as well. My friends, don't forget to press a like to this video. By doing so, you help me a lot. Also, if you want to support my job, you may check out some of the links in the video description just below. Special thanks for my Patreon supporters and also the sponsors of my YouTube channel. Guys, you are awesome. Thank you so much for your kind support. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.